chilled out the group. It's nothing. Right, we should be live now. I always have to do my checks, like go onto my Facebook to make sure it's working. So let me just see that we are good to go. Oh, we're live. Yeah, we're on there. We're on.
Hello, folks.
There's no one there yet. Okay, guys. Right, guys, I'm just going to do a little bit of a kind of briefing for people that are joining and people that are also watching this on repeat as well. So if you're watching this on replay, drop us a hashtag replay in, ask any questions, and we will still see this on the feed in days to come, okay? If you are watching and you need to click that link above for us to see who you are, if you start firing comments in here, you need to authorize Facebook and StreamYard to connect so we see your name. So it'll just say Facebook user. So if I refer to you as Facebook user, it's because you've not clicked that little link at the top. If you don't want to click that link, then just put your name in the chat so I know who we are talking to. So I'm just going to wait, Elizabeth, a few more moments.
Sure.
Yeah. So what's weather like in London, where you are right now? Are we good?
Well, it's well, at least it's not pissing down like it's done the last couple of days.
I know it's been horrible, isn't it?
It's a bit it's just not very summery, is it?
It's not. The summer has. I feel like it's gone.
Well, it's gone. No, it's gone south for some reason.
Yeah.
Not so much here. But then again, I mean, I remember summers. I grew up in Denmark, and we had summers where it was literally 15 degrees and stormy and rainy the whole summer. So maybe we're just having one of those. But I'm hoping a little bit of warmth.
Yes, we might get like what do we call it? The Indian summer, where it comes like August, September. That'll be nice. That'll be nice.
I'm going to Scotland next week, so I'm hoping that it's not going to be too.
It'll be cold. The further up you get, the colder it gets.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. So just going to wait a moment or two. Okay, guys. So welcome to another live interview and another podcast. If you are new to my podcast, then welcome. What I do encourage is that you do go back to the beginning, especially if you are at a place within your development, your beauty industry, and you feel that you are really wanting to level up and scale up your business and you want to take it right from the beginning. I would suggest you do that. But if you clicked on this one today, then this will be an amazing one for you to start with. Okay. If you are an avid listener, then thank you so much for staying connected. Keeping watching my podcast, my YouTube channel. I think I'm on episode 77.
Oh.
Now I think you might be. Hello.
Oh, hello.
Okay, I'm back. Can you see me?
I can see, but you're still frozen. But I can hear you.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Wait a second.
Oh, there we are. Now you're back.
We're back. Okay. I'm gonna have to do that spiel again. Right, guys, welcome to another podcast and welcome to a live interview. I am here today interviewing Elisabeth Valantine, who is a speaker coach. Now, if you are new to my podcast, then welcome. I do suggest you go back to the beginning, especially if you are at a stage within your beauty industry, your development, you're ready to scale up, get seen, and get out of the comfort zone, then I do suggest you go back to the beginning. We are on about episode 76, 77 now. And if you're an avid listener, then thank you so much for your support. So today is actually a live interview on my private Facebook group. So if you are not part of that Facebook group, then please reach out or do a search on Facebook called the Beauty Business Coach Support Group. And you can then watch these interviews live. You can then contribute, ask questions as we go, and get to be part of the interview before it launches on the YouTube channel, the podcast. So without further ado, I want to introduce Elisabeth. Now, Elisabeth Valantine is a speaker coach, and we go back a couple of years. We actually met within a business development coaching group, and we've stayed really closely connected, even though we live miles away from each other. We are both huge supporters of our journey, our path, and what we are doing in the business world. And I really think this is going to be so valuable for everybody, because this is one thing that a lot of people struggle with. They struggle and they have the fear of getting on camera, recording themselves, going live. Just doing a short little reel can actually make people feel very, very anxious, very uneasy, and they basically fear the worst. So I wanted to get Elisabeth on board. She is the only person that I wanted to talk to about this, because she's got bundles of experience, worked with the biggest companies out there. And yeah, I want Elisabeth to introduce herself, because she'll be able to do it far better than me. So Elisabeth, welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me, SJ. Obviously, it's been great following your journey in the past couple of years. And as you know, I am your biggest fan of Beaumont, your makeup brand. I am always wearing it, and it's so wonderful. So yeah, I actually started out as a singer. I've been a performer since I was 8 years old, or well, pretty much since I was born. Hello. And I started getting paid to sing when I was 8 years old. Moved to London from Denmark when I was 18, was in bands, I sang, I got to perform at some amazing places like Hammersmith Apollo, I don't think it's called that anymore, Shepherd's Bush Empire. I performed at Wembley Stadium, Royal Albert Hall. I've sung all over the world. Then I got into voiceover, I fell into it, but I found out that it was actually a childhood dream of being a Disney voice when I was little. And then whilst I was doing my degree in popular music performance at the London College of Music, my ex-flatmate, who was the voice of one of Denmark's largest TV channels, got in touch and was like, "Hey, Elisabeth, we need a freelancer. Do you want to come and do some like a speaker test? Because I think you could be really good." And I was like, "Oh yeah, sure." I mean, I freaked out, of course, first, and the course teacher was like, "Just say yes, and then we figure it out. Say yes, and then you figure it out."
Yeah.
So I went, and my first voiceover job was announcing what was coming on Danish TV. Like and next up this evening, we've got the new episode of blah, blah, blah. So that was sort of my part-time job. Whilst I was studying at the time, I was also doing backing vocals for Right Said Fred, being in Germany or East, pretty much being.
I love that. I didn't know that one.
Yeah. So I sang backing vocals for them for 3.5 years whilst I was studying, which was obviously the perfect student job instead of working in a bar, which I did in the beginning. So that was sort of my real entry into the world of voiceover. And when I finished my degree, they asked if I would be the full-time voice for Danish TV. And actually, I still am. So I still go on every day. Well, I record it up front, but where I tell the Danish people what's happening on their TV channel, what's happening on our streaming services. And I got really good at delivering a message or a couple of messages in as little as 9 seconds. So you have to be really specific with your words. Then I transitioned from working full-time for the TV company to becoming a freelancer. So I still provide all the content for them, but I was yearning for more. And so I was like, okay, now I work for myself. I don't know anything about that. I know about being on stage. I know about speaking. I know about the voice. I don't know about running a business at all. So I started going to all these entrepreneurs conferences and things. And I realized how many people have really great products, really great services, but they cannot tell you about them to save their life. And that used to be me. I would go to these networking events and just go, hello, yeah, I'm kind of doing this. And I was really awkward, and everyone else was awkward too. But I thought, okay, here is something I have expertise in, how to connect, how to deliver a really clear message, and how to, be engaging. Because of course, as a performer, you have to be.
Yeah.
But also I was really interested in self-development. I studied coaching. I thought, okay, there's a really great segment here where I can help business owners, entrepreneurs with their public speaking, pitching, presentation skills, networking skills, how to come across and sell yourself. Because let's be real, people will, I mean, you always hear this, people will buy from people they know, trust, and like.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is the big thing. This is the, like you said, people can have the best product, the best service, the best treatment, or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But if you cannot get your message across with confidence and get them to feel that they want to buy from a person, this is the thing.
Yeah.
People forget they're not buying a product. They're not buying a product. They're buying that person or that brand, or how it makes them feel when they invest in that brand or that person. So if you can't get your message across and you can't deliver it well, then you could be selling the best thing in the world. Nobody's going to get that. So, and this is where a lot of people fall down. So you're right with that. So having that overlap, obviously with yourself, having the business development side and wanting to push your own business and take it forward, but actually having the experience of delivering a good 9-second direct, firm kind of like speech with the Danish TV, that would have actually helped you massively to start thinking, right, this is my business, this is mine now. How can I use that to deliver an impactful message?
Hugely. And we always, when I was being trained, and I've also done a fair bit of songwriting, and it's the same thing. It's like, get to the hook. What is the hook? How are you going to hook in these people? So if I'm talking about a crime show, I have to think, well, who will watch a crime show, and what else will they watch? And what is the thing about, I'll get like a tiny little description of what happens in that episode of NCIS or whatever it might be. Okay, what is the thing that is going to be appealing to that person? What is going to be the benefit to them? Instead of selling, oh, it's a crime show. Ooh, how can I find what is the suspense? And the same for you. If you are selling, I know you do permanent makeup, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So what is the benefit to their life? Is it that it's going to save them time in the morning because they are busy getting the kids to school? Yeah. Is it that, oh my God, my eyes always water because I'm allergic to mascara or something like that? Okay, how are you going to solve their problem and then say that really succinctly, really clearly, and cut out all the other fluff?
Yes. Yeah. And the thing is, if somebody is, for instance, going live and they want to go live about permanent makeup and the benefits of permanent makeup, let's say, rather than going live and starting off by saying, oh, I'm SJ, I do permanent cosmetics, I can create a really nice set of eyebrows that will be tailored to suit your face, and we have the attention span of a goldfish, they're gone. Yeah, whereas if you get on straight away and sell that hook first, sell that pain point, sell the result. Imagine going to the gym and not wiping your forehead and your eyebrow being missing. And then you've hooked them in. Then you can then start to talk about the different techniques and the other benefits. But like you said, you've got to get that. You've got to address that pain point right early on, because it's our attention span. Would you agree? What are the studies now in terms of an adult's attention span?
I think it's about 2 or 3 seconds. And
which is a goldfish.
Well, it's less than the goldfish. They always used to say that a goldfish had a 7-second attention, which actually wasn't true, but it proves the point.
Yeah.
And I think now with TikTok, with Instagram, we have no attention span. We have to hook them within the first 3 seconds. So, and we all want to talk, we all want to wax lyrically about whatever great thing it is that we've got going on, but we have to get straight to the point. And I would also say, even with these lives, actually start talking quite quickly, because we all want people to come on. We want to wait for people, but most people actually don't watch the lives live. They will watch the replay. So of course you can scroll, but are people going to do that? Yeah, if they really like you, if you really love your content, okay, then they will. But we do have to just get in there, provide value to whoever we're talking to straight away.
Yeah. So even what I've done as I've gone on live here, I was filling it with a little bit of fluff first.
Yeah.
Because I should have been straight in saying it. I could have repeated the message. So even though I have got, I'm fine. I'm quite confident getting on camera and delivering my message, but I can improve how I get people to engage with me by saying that hook and that pain point straight away. finally master the art of getting on camera without fear. Say that in the first 3 seconds. So even I'm learning something.
Well, hey, you know what? We're all learning all the time.
Oh,
All
yeah.
the time. I'm doing this 30-day content challenge because I got a little bit distracted with a big job I was doing. And then once you get out of that routine of going live or just putting up content all the time, it takes some time getting back into it. And you just have to force yourself. And for me, doing challenges always works really well because I get things coming in all the time. So I never quite know what my day is going to be like.
Yeah.
So if I go for my own deadlines or whatever, that often changes. So doing a challenge is great for me. And I'm learning to use new software. I've finally gotten on TikTok, which is a totally different game to
Nice.
Facebook and Instagram, actually. So you just have to start getting a bit uncomfortable and just doing it, even though it's not going to be perfect in the beginning.
Yeah. And I think that's the important thing. If you are scared of doing it, you've got to do it uncomfortable. You've got to actually just get out there and do it uncomfortable, and then you'll learn to become more comfortable. But then you'll find that you'll then go to that next step, like yourself. You've just now obviously doing the TikTok. That would have been uncomfortable at the beginning. It's like, well, it's completely new. It's a new platform and don't know how it works.
Yeah.
But you thought, you know what? Do it uncomfortable and then start building up from there. So, Elisabeth, what would you say then is, you obviously deal with this a lot when you are coaching people. What would you say is the biggest thing that stops people getting on camera, whether that is going live, a short reel, or creating some content for their training or whatever it may be? What would you say is that biggest thing that stops people?
I mean, the biggest thing is really confidence. It's like, or the fear. Yeah, I think that fear of going, oh, but I don't know what I'm doing. You don't feel confident. And I always remind people that confidence is a skill. Because probably you're super confident in what you're doing, what your main thing is, but people think that confidence can't be transferred, and of course it can, because competence breeds confidence.
Yes.
So one of the things I like to do with my clients is get them to really feel into how they feel when they're at their most confident. And then we kind of work on setting you up to have that feeling when you go and do something that is out of your comfort zone. And also, you just have to remind people that whenever you do something for the first time or the first 5 times, because you don't know how to do it or it's a new thing, you're going to feel a little bit like uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So priming your mindset is super important. I wish I had like a magic wand that would just go, oh, now you're going to love it. You have to get over that cringe factor. So many times.
The message is true. If you are passionate about your message, some people may find that cringy, but they're not going to be your people. They're not going to be they're not going to be clients of yours. So if you are truly passionate about your message and you're selling something you truly believe in, then it's not cringy. But it's very important that you said about the confidence thing, because I've got that so much in my life. So, oh yeah, but you're confident. You're confident on camera. You're confident at this. There's certain aspects. So you're a singer, okay? Yeah. You get me on a stage with a microphone doing a karaoke, I will run a fucking mile. Really? No, I have never. Listen to this. I have never sang on a karaoke in my life. Never, never. And it's actually a hurdle that I want to do it. But that to me, whereas if you put a stage right in the middle of a nightclub in front of thousands of people and put some music on and I'm there in my dance gear, I'm all over that. I'm all over that. But put a microphone and get me to sing, job done. Wouldn't happen. So for me to be able to, if I was ever in a position where I need to do that, I've got to put myself into the SJ of a dancer, a performer, talking about my coaching. I've got to feel that to then be able to deliver that part of my life where I'm not confident or competent in. And that's what I say a lot when I'm coaching people in terms of mindset. You know, confidence, you've got to pick where you're really confident at and use that for this new skill. Or if you feel that you haven't got that, look at somebody that you look up to and you admire. You know, how are they standing? How are they presenting themselves? What would they do in this situation? And actually embody that person, even if it's bloody Wonder Woman or whatever, embody that person before you get on camera. But yeah, I agree with you. That's the biggest thing that stops people. They think, I'm not confident, I can't do it.
Yeah. Or they just feel scared. And that's another thing. People often come to me because they're terrified of public speaking. And public speaking, that can also be going on camera, doing reels. And there's a really biological, evolutionary reason for this that I find once people understand, is like, okay, there's nothing actually wrong with me. It's not a fault of mine that I am afraid of public speaking or that I get nervous. And it's this. So way back in the day, in our hunter-gatherer days, when we really relied on our tribe, we relied on everyone around us to keep us safe, to stand guard when we're sleeping, to hunt with us, to look after us when we're sick. We desperately needed other people. Otherwise, it was pretty much certain death. Now, we haven't evolved that much in our brain because that part of our brain is still really active and present. So if you are taking a step out of the group, you're making yourself vulnerable to rejection. Because if I am all of a sudden leaving the group, going on stage, going on video, that's when people can go, oh, we don't like that. Why are you doing that? And you could be rejected. Now, of course, now that's not going to kill you, but the old part of your brain still thinks it is.
Yeah.
So that's a really important thing to remember. The second thing to remember is words have power and your body has power. So the physical response to being afraid is almost identical to the physical response of being excited.
I love this. This is what I swear by. I say this to my clients. Keep going. This is amazing. This is amazing.
Yeah. So it's that state of, I mean, it sounds a bit iffy, but it's a state of arousal, they call it. And both of them are states of arousal. So you get that feeling in your stomach. It's like going on a roller coaster. It's like, and maybe you get sweaty palms and your knees are shaking and maybe your voice gets a bit shaky. So next time that you are faced with a time when you have to go on stage, go on live, and you feel like, oh my God, and you have that inner feeling, instead of thinking, oh my God, I'm so nervous, change the words to, God, I'm so excited. Wow, I can really feel I'm excited because I've got flutters in the stomach. Maybe I have to go to the toilet 3 times, whatever it is that's happening in your body.
Nervous poos.
Yep, they happen. They happen. And I haven't looked into the actual physiological reason for this, but I was always thinking, God, but if you have to run away from a lion, you can't be heavy. So it's good. Eliminate your lighter. You can run faster.
Yes, that could be it. That could be the reason.
I have no idea. That's just my pocket philosophy.
That's yours. That's yours. That's fine. We'll go with that.
Yeah. So go to the toilet and think, hey, my body is preparing me to do something that maybe requires stamina, that requires me to be ultra focused. And that's what's happening in my body. So keep just saying, wow, I'm so excited. So excited.
I use that all the time with people that I coach and with my children as well, because, you know, it's not, the feeling is the same. Like you said, that dry mouth, the shakes, the flutters, that is all the same. It's just your perception of what it is. Are you going to say that is, I'm scared, or are you going to say that is me excited? Because it's the same. So it's what you turn it to. And I've always found as well is we fail to sometimes people hold on to the negatives, and the way we talk to us can impact how we move forward. Okay, so say if someone's about to get on camera and they're about to talk and record a video, and they say, oh God, well, what if I mess up, and what if I forget what I'm saying, and what if people hate me, and what if this? Straight away our brain can't comprehend the negative, so all we hear is mess up, fail, unappreciated or whatever. So, I when I've done a couple of events where I've spoken in front of people, I get nervous or excited, but I stand there and say to myself, you know what, this is going to be the best speaking event I'm going to do. They are going to love me. It's going to completely change my business. I am fucking amazing, blah 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 blah. And I just say that to myself. But because when you say that, you just start feeling bigger and prouder, and actually then the excitement comes. So it's sometimes what people say to themselves before they get on camera which makes them kind of sink back and get scared and feel more vulnerable. Would you agree with that?
Oh, 100%. I mean, 100%. As coaches, I'm studying NLP at the moment, which is all about neuro-linguistic programming. It's all about how we program ourselves from a language perspective. And we have to become so aware of what we're saying to ourselves, because as you say, it does inform how we do things. If you think a negative thought, then you start having a negative feeling, then you exactly as you say, and then you start getting that shrinking. Oh God. And you can actually change how your state is just physiologically, just actually by going, okay, what am I like when I am really confident? My shoulders are back, I'm standing tall, I have a smile on my face. Even if you start adopting some of those physiological changes, that will also change your feelings and then your thoughts. And as you say, why not choose the better thought? Why not say, hey, you know what? This is gonna be great. I'm gonna do a really great job. And even if you're new, you go, wow, this is such a great opportunity for me to try this out, to learn something new, to hone my skills, to get better. So I can get my message across. And that's where really owning and really getting clear on the benefits of whatever it is that you do or you sell. Think of your audience, because if I'm all up in my own head, freaking out about my little whatever is going on, in my mom always says, oh, don't be picking your belly button. It's like no, hang on a minute. We need to throw it up higher. We need to look out and think, hey, they need me. They need what I have to give. Because then you take the focus away from you and how we perceive ourselves and what we're worried about and all our stories and limitations and fears and limiting beliefs. And instead go, hang on a minute, this is really important that they understand, because it's going to change their life for the better. And sometimes we think, oh yeah, but it's only makeup, it's only speaker coaching, it's only this, it's only that. So that's why you need to get down into the layers and go, but hang on a minute, what does it do to someone if they look their best? Okay, they feel more confident. What happens when they're more confident? They can do X, Y, and Z. They become more present with their family, with their kids, because they're not worrying about what they look like, because they feel beautiful.
The self-esteem and
self-esteem, blah, blah. So really find the biggest possible benefit. And maybe that will grate on you thinking, oh yeah, but because we don't want to sort of be arrogant or feel like we're too much. But no, go to the biggest possible benefit, dig deep or aim high or whatever, to really find the biggest reason why what you're doing is of value to your ideal people.
Yeah. And that's just completely, just by you saying that, that's completely changed the concept of delivering it. Because like now I know that if I'm going to deliver a workshop, I've just been doing some things on subscription in the beauty business, but for me to deliver this, I I know that there's people that are going to watch that are going to have the confidence every single month that their bills are paid, their stress levels are reduced, they're not going to be taking it on their children, they're going to be able to have more free time and have more quality time with their family, all from me going on screen and talking about getting a subscription to their business. So it's not just about getting your clients to pay you monthly. Now I'm giving you free time. I'm giving you a holiday. I'm giving you Disneyland next year. I am giving you all of that. So I think that that's a real valuable message, so look beyond. It's actually looking beyond being selfish. You've taken away that selfishness of like, oh, I'm scared, am I going to stutter and am I going to mess up, to like, no, they need to hear this message. I can change their life massively by delivering this message. So let's talk about the actual delivery, okay? Because this is what freaks people out, okay?
Yeah.
Eye contact, where to look, people scared of stuttering, people being direct with their message. What are your top tips for people? So let's say someone's recording some content. Somebody is getting on camera and they want to record some content, not necessarily going live, about the service that they offer. What are people's frustrations and setbacks, and what stops people from moving forward?
Well, first of all, let's get down to the basics of some just very fundamental things you need to get right. I have a couple of pet peeves. So one of the things is you have to clean the lens of your camera. So many people, we have smartphones, we get fingerprints on them, and you see that sort of haziness going on. Every time you go to record something, usually it's on your phone, maybe it's on your computer screen, make sure you clean the lens. That's number one. Number two is look into the camera lens. So many people, we're just looking at ourselves. Oh, am I looking okay? Oh, I don't know. And it's really disconnecting. So you have to look into the actual lens, and that takes some training. So now I'm not looking at SJ. I can see out of the corner of my eye. I'm not looking at myself, but I'm looking straight into the camera lens. And that takes a bit of training. So until you get used to it, you need to look at where normally the green dot is, but you can put a little Post-it sticker with a big arrow saying, look here. Yeah. Because when we are looking at ourselves, we're not connecting to the person we're speaking to on the other side. So those are the two main things. Then of course you want to look at the angle. I see so many people doing this. It's not very flattering. So put your exactly. Ooh. So put your thing on a stand or on some books or whatever it's going to do, so you can look straight. So you can look straight into the camera, or maybe even a little bit up, but not too much. Yeah. Again, get some good lighting. And the thing is, we have to see what could be a reason for people to turn off our video. And then you fix that. Because why do you not watch people's videos? If you go, oh, it looks a bit shit, it's all blurry.
The blurry thing does me in. The blur, and also the eye contact. Like, obviously, this interview that I'm doing now, I'm looking at you because I'm, but if I'm recording content, I'm always looking at my green dot. Always look at my green dot, and I got that from you. Because I did used to look at myself, but I'm like, I know what I look like. I don't need to look at myself. So I look at my green dot now. So the only time I'm different is when I'm actually interviewing somebody, because I want to be looking at your face. But I do think, I think the main thing that people struggle with, I think people don't like the sound of their own voice. They don't like to look at themselves. But I try and say to people, and I get messages all the time saying, yeah, but you're fabulous on camera and you look amazing. Everything else. I'm like, yeah, but I don't think I do. I do. I do. I know. The thing is, I've just accepted it now. That's me. But like when I used to watch myself, I'd be like, oh. I'm like, why does she sound so? We're always going to think somebody else sounds and looks better, because we look up to that person as well. But I think there's a part of it where you've got to get over it, haven't you? You've just got to think, well, this is my voice. This is what I look like. if I make sure I do my hair and makeup as well as I can, I feel as good about myself as I can, I can't change the sound of my voice. I can deliver the message better, maybe by recording something and playing it back and find out what I do say or not say and how I can improve on that. Well, you can't change your voice as such, can you? And what you look like, you know?
I think you can always improve. You can always get better. But you're so right. People hate the sound of their own voice and they hate what they look like. And again, there's a really good logical explanation for why we don't like the sound of our own voice recorded. So when we are speaking, we are hearing the voice twofold. So of course, you're hearing the sound come out of your mouth, reverberate around the room and going into your ear canal. But you're also hearing the sound and feeling the sound of your voice internally. So we hear it almost in a stereo way.
Okay.
When you're listening to your voice on a recording, of course, you're only hearing the sound coming out of the device, reverberating around the room and going into your ear. So you're like, oh, why does that sound so weird? That doesn't sound like me.
Yeah.
And the only way to get over that is to record yourself, listen back, record yourself, listen back, record yourself, listen back. There's just no real other way of getting used to it. And I still sometimes go, oh, I hate the sound of my own voice. I have a really northern accent in Danish, by the way. And on most recording jobs I do, that's still not quite acceptable. And so I have a RP accent when I do my voiceovers, unless I do character voices where I get to talk like that or whatever I get to do. But you just have to get over that cringe factor that I was talking about earlier. And once you've listened to it a couple of times, then you go, okay, that's what I sound like. You just have to get used to it. Yeah. And the same with how I look like. Of course, we can do things to improve. We can make sure that we put on our makeup, that we do our hair, and that we look the best we can. And then again, put the focus on why it's important that I do this.
I was just going to say that. So if you actually go back to what we said a bit ago about why am I delivering this message? Who needs to hear this? What effect is this going to have on their life, on their business, on their future? Then straight away, you don't really care that your hair doesn't look its best today.
No.
That's completely gone.
I don't think my hair looks its best today, but this is what it is.
Yeah.
And how important that we're talking about these things.
Yeah. See, go on. Sorry, Elisabeth, carry on.
No, go on. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, when I first started my coaching journey and I started recording content and videos and everything else, I was putting on a voice. I was not being me. And when I listen back to that, oh my goodness, I actually released it not long ago. Basically, I did like some social media, basically saying just get it done and get perfect later. Start recording content, start doing stuff. And then as you look back, you'll think, whoa, I need to change that. That doesn't work. Let me improve. And I always believe we learn more from, our little mess ups or our failures than our successes. But when I watch back them videos, it is cringy as hell. It's like, who is that person trying to be? It wasn't me. I was just trying so hard to be like everybody else that I see out there, and I wasn't being true to myself. So I think looking back at that, it would have been so helpful if I would have just recorded myself a few times, listened back and been like, right, okay, is this me? Is this sincere? Am I delivering this message in the right way? But just get it done and get perfect in the process is what it's all about, isn't it?
Definitely. And I'm really happy you said that, because being authentically great is what we should all strive for. But it's so easy. And of course, we want to learn from the best and copy what really works for them. But we have to stay true to who we are and how we deliver things, because that's also how you're going to attract your people and your clients, the people who want to work with you. If you're pretending to be someone else, maybe it will work for a little while. And that goes for life as well. Maybe it will work for a little while, but we can't keep it up. It's too exhausting.
Yeah.
So we just have to be who we are. But of course, the best version of us that we can be, the most professional, the most confident version that we can be, but you're great where you are now. But it's always a journey to, as you say, perfect and perfect and perfect. Nothing's ever going to be perfect, by the way.
No.
We all want it to be perfect, but it's never going to be perfect because there's always something you can do to improve. And talking about your voice, there are things you can do to improve your voice. And maybe you find that if I do stuff in the morning, my voice is a bit and it doesn't sound so good. Maybe it's a bit croaky. Maybe it's a bit So then you can start warming up your voice by doing some very simple sirens, for instance. So some
Let's do some.
So sirens, the roller coaster sirens are always my go-to. So you can do it on a hum. So you can do it on a lip bubble. So
No, I can't do that.
You know what? Some people, it's you can't do it. If you try and you can't do it when you're smiling. But if you put a couple of fingers in the corners of your mouth, listen,
I smile too much.
Smile too much. But then maybe you can do the tongue trill.
Cannot do that. How do you do that?
I don't know. It's almost like the air is flowing through your mouth, making the tongue go like that.
I'm just gonna spit.
No. Well, so every day for you. Oh, there you go. You have to do that. It's like a horse. Yeah. So, but maybe for you, you just do some. So from the lowest to the highest to the lowest again. And it needs to be really soft. You don't push. You just kind of let the voice naturally flow. You could also do it on a ooh.
I love it.
Really nice way. Also, if you have a bit of phlegm in the morning, that will just gently remove that. So that's good for you. Drink lots of water before you do any kind of speaking because the vocal cords are covered in mucous membranes. They need to be super lubricated. So make sure that you're well hydrated. That's going to help your voice. And when you start listening back to yourself, you can go, when I do that thing, I really don't like it. It's a habit I have that I wasn't aware of. Maybe I'm a lip smacker. That's annoying to listen to. It's annoying when we say like all the time. That's also a bad habit.
I used to do that. And there's one other thing I used to do as well. I always used to say, do you know what I mean?
Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what I mean? But not, do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? And I used to watch my videos back. I'm like, shut up. You're saying it too much. Yes, they know what I mean. So like I subconsciously now I'm like, I'm not allowed to say that. I've watched lives before where I've heard say like, you know, but you'll get this from watching back, you know?
And also it's also a way for your brain to say, just give me a moment. I need to catch up with what I'm saying. But here you can use a pause. You could just pause.
This is what people don't like.
Let the message sink in. I love pauses because they're so effective. So if we're saying, I'm doing a talk and I'm talking and I'm talking and I'm talking and I'm going and I'm going and I'm going. And then I tell the people, but this is what I really want you to remember. And then sip it. And everyone's ears go, what? What is it I need to remember? And then you deliver it. And then you have another pause. Let it sink in. Those pauses, it's like a spotlight for that really important thing that you want to tell them. So you go, ooh, because our brain kind of gives you, my old vocal coach used to tell me, okay, I'm going to pay you 20p's worth of attention. And if nothing new happens, or if you don't engage me, then I'm not going to spend the next 20p. So we have to change things up because otherwise the brain just gets a bit boring. or it doesn't get boring. It gets bored and maybe drifts. I'm going to think about what I'm going to have for lunch or that other thing that's going on. So if I'm going in the same sort of rhythm, da 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 da, and then I stop, whoa, what happened there? Now I'm back with you.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that, because pauses, I've said this when I'm doing the coaching with a lot of people, because this is a big thing about talking, going live. And I say to people, it's okay to pause. Like they feel that they have to go 100 miles an hour. And if they don't stop talking, then they're going to leave. But an actual, just a moment, just to take a moment, maybe just glance at the notes, if they're following a kind of a script or something, and just pause for a moment. Because like you said, just by that monotony of your voice just stopping, the ears have twigged up, they're ready. So a pause, I think, people get scared to do it, but I think it is so powerful.
Pauses are amazing. And you could also, if you find that uncomfortable, take a water pause. Oh, I'm just going to take a little sip of water. Okay, right, we're back. That's a beautiful way to just give your brain a little pause. Let them catch up with their brains and all the stuff you've already told them. But it feels maybe less uncomfortable than just pausing.
Yeah. Fabulous.
Next, let's talk about your message, if that's right with you.
Yeah.
So that's one of the other reasons of why we get ourselves into all the likes and you know what I mean, and and the lip smacks and whatever else is going on. Because our brain is not maybe 100% clear on what you're saying, especially if you're doing a live, because that's a long form. So of course, there's going to be more and blah, 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 than if you are doing a short video. If you're doing a short video, I always say one main message, maybe with 3 sort of under messages. So keep it really tight, even though you want to say a whole bunch of things. For the short forms, keep it simple. And then just do more videos.
Yeah.
Highlight a different aspect of why this thing is so great, this thing that you want to sell, or why they should come to you. So keep that very, very concise, very clear. And if it's something that's a bit new to me, I will write down in bullet points. Sometimes I'll start writing the actual script and then I'll rehearse it a couple of times, go, okay, yeah, what flows, what doesn't flow. I'm always stumbling over this particular point. Let me look at changing the wording, because obviously there's something that doesn't quite work here.
Yeah.
Then when I'm super clear on what I'm saying, then I'll kind of go, okay, the headlines or the bullet points, this is my main message, or this is the beginning, that's the end, and I need to get to these 3 points in the middle. And sometimes I will put, if it's a slightly longer video, I will put a little note on the stand where my phone is or by my computer, and then I can just kind of glance and see, okay, now I'm at the next point. So you keep yourself really focused and clear on what it is you're saying, and try not to improvise if that's going to cause you to get out on some tangent that isn't relevant. Yeah. Keep it to the point, in the nutshell, and relevant.
Yeah, I do think it is. People do go off. I go off on a tangent. I really do. But if I'm recording content and I know the message that I'm delivering, I will even have, because obviously I only have to see my the green dot. I will actually have Post-its stuck on my computer and my bullet points, and I just stick them on my computer, so I can literally just do that. You've not even seen that my eyes have moved, just to then get me back on track. Because if I don't have that, I know that I will fall down a tangent of talking about something completely irrelevant. So I think that is a really important message of people that are needing to get on camera. They need to create some content that they have to plan. They have to rehearse. They have to feel, like you said, if there's a point where it's like, I can't word this, it's not working for me, what can I change? And then re-bullet point it and then follow that. And like you said, making things short, precise, direct, will make it more powerful.
Yeah. And remember, this is a new skill. So let's not compare ourselves to other people where we think, well, they probably just go on and they're amazing. It's like, no, they've practiced all the tiny little skills that it requires to be good. So in the beginning, we have to practice, and then it becomes easier and easier and easier. And I heard this analogy one time. The first time you met your now partner,
Mm-hmm.
the first time you went on the first date, maybe you're a bit nervous. Maybe you're nervous on the second date. Then you're nervous when you took it to the next step. But now, when you see them all the time, you're not nervous anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, okay, now I'm used to them. And the same when you start a new job, the first sort of week, it's a bit, oh God. And then you get used to, oh, okay, the toilet is there and the coffee machine is there and these are my colleagues. And then you get slowly comfortable with just by repetition.
Yeah, it's exactly the same. And the thing is, though, it's really important that you said don't compare to these other people that you see that are delivering really, really good videos. You don't know how many takes it's took for them to create that video. You don't know. A lot of these people don't know that I have bullet points stuck on my laptop to
Yeah.
keep me in check with the message that I'm saying. All they see is that end video and think, oh my goodness, that's amazing. How
Who?
can she deliver?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're back.
Oh, you're back. Am I back?
You're back.
I'm back.
You're back.
Yes. Yeah, you only see that end video, that end recording. Yeah, when you're going live, a little bit different, but you don't know how many times it's took for them to. There's one video that I put on YouTube, drove me insane. I was trying to deliver I tried to get the hook, the reason why they need this, what I'm offering. I kind of had this plan, and it needs to be under 2 minutes. I had to get under 2 minutes because I want the message to be as direct as possible, but deliver the pain points and then what I can do to help them, and then tell them if they don't do it, what's going to happen. So it was just this 2-minute video, and it probably took me all day to actually get it right, because I kept losing the hook and the pain point, but then I'd go over 2 minutes. And but that video is amazing now, but nobody saw how long it took me to create that video. So people need to not be comparing. This is why I follow a lot of people who inspire and motivate me in this industry, but I don't compare my work to nobody, because I focus on my path and my journey and think, well, you know what, they probably have the same problems as I do. And like we know, social media is all smoke and mirrors. So you're seeing people that are, smashing it in every aspect of their life, and then that makes you feel that you're not. So yeah, I think that's really important to realize that, you've got to get it done to then build up your confidence, but you've also got to realize these people that you look at that are doing it so well, they don't know what techniques that you don't know what techniques they've got in place to deliver that perfect video.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And also, don't compare your step number 1 to someone else's step number 100. And a lot of these I think we can obviously learn from people and going, hey, I really like his use of captions, or I really like how they have framed that. I can learn from that. But remember, these people who are really good, they have a whole team behind them. Mm-hmm. This is their job for a lot of them. This is their full-time career, maybe.
Yeah.
And we are still, we are using the social media content to actually help our career.
Mm-hmm.
It's an added component. And I love the fact that you said, yeah, it took you a whole day, because it does. It takes forever. It takes really long time to create content. So don't get discouraged if you're thinking, why is it taking me 3 hours to do a little 1-minute video? Well, maybe in the beginning it will take you 3 hours, and it will take you long to know how to set it up, how to get in the right frame of mind, how to afterwards use whatever software or app to make it look good and to put the captions on.
Mm-hmm.
The other note I just want to give is, don't start filming too soon. So when you are in the rehearsal stage, if you start filming too soon, then you can get very frustrated because you're actually not ready to film yet. So you are trying to do it, but then you can't deliver it. And then you're like, oh, fuck, that didn't work well. And oh no, now I have to do it again. So actually, by the time that you have learnt what it is you need to learn, by the time you've got the form of the video right, then you're just frustrated. You're thinking, I'm such an idiot. Why can't I just get this? So I would say just wait, do a couple more goes or run throughs before you start filming to really go, okay, you know what? I've got it now.
Yeah. Practice. Yeah, I get that because I made that mistake many times, didn't prep what I was talking about enough. So then by the time I got on camera doing it over and over again, I'm like, I know when to stop now. And I'm like, you know what? Nope, that's tomorrow now, done. Because you just get too frustrated, and then your message, you'll then sense that frustration when you're delivering your message.
Mm-hmm.
So Elisabeth, I want to ask you, what is next for you? What is next for you? And I know you've got your own podcast as well, which you are relaunching soon. You're doing obviously speaker events, speaker workshops. So tell me about what you are doing.
So I've got a few projects in the pipeline, actually. So I've just finished filming a video course for authors who want to record their own audiobook, but who aren't speakers or who aren't narrators or voiceover people. So, and you know what? That has taken me a really long time to create this video course. But again, I thought, okay, so it's taking a long time. That's all right. So now we've finished filming. I am making the video course script into a book script, getting that published, getting the audiobook of that book out there. Of course, you need to have that when you're doing an audio. I have another book project I am working on. And then, of course, I've got my coaching business that I had to put on hold because I was doing a lot of big projects for big clients. So now I am just really relaunching that, finally have time to take in new speaker coaching clients. So that's really fantastic. And that's what fuels my fire when I see someone's life changing because they no longer have sleepless nights because they are afraid of this presentation they're going to be doing. And now they can actually just go up on stage and build their business. Or people who are afraid of going to job interviews, now that they can actually land the jobs because they are owning their success. They're able to express their value to the recruiter. So that's sort of really my next steps. And then, of course, relaunching my podcast. I had to we can't do everything at the same time all at once. We have to prioritize.
I know it is difficult, but you can tell the excitement that you've got behind your taking on new clients. As soon as you said that, you're like this. So exactly. You can tell that is definitely something that, you're so passionate about, which is amazing. And I want to know more about this book as well. Because I've got itchy feet to launch a book.
Yeah. Well,
so
I mean, we'll talk about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Elisabeth, thank you so much. I think what you've shared has been so valuable. If anybody watching this on replay wants to connect with Elisabeth, she's part of the community, she's part of the group. Add her as a friend, connect with her. She'll have answers for all your concerns and questions. But there's going to be a lot of these little posts going out on social media off the back end of this podcast release as well. And if you find that speaking is something that is holding you back massively, and you find that this interview would have helped you, but if you find you need a little bit more, then please connect with Elisabeth and she can tell you more about her program, her speaker program as well. So Elisabeth, thank you so much.
Thank you. And to anyone out there, if you want a little bit of feedback, actually, we haven't talked about this, but if you want a bit of feedback, then pop a little video in that comment in SJ's group, and I'm happy to give you a few pointers and help you on your way.
Fantastic. That'd be quite a good challenge, actually, if we actually do a little bit of a video challenge, upload a little video, and then, will people do that? This is the thing. that to me, I would love something like that. Throw my video in a group and just getting somebody who's a pro like you to give feedback. But this is where people get scared, you know. So if you really have got the kahunas, you should put it in the group.
But listen, folks, if you really want to take your business to the next level, and why is that? Is that so, as SJ said earlier, so that you can have more free time, so that you can get that holiday, so you can get financially free, whatever it is. Use that as your inspiration and your motivation and your fuel to get started with making video content, with speaking, with sharing why whatever it is you have to sell or give is really valuable. So I would say use this as the opportunity to get started.
Definitely. Definitely. Yeah. Elisabeth, thank you so much. It's been an amazing interview. Thank you very much, girl.
Thank you for having me.